The evil Predacons, yes! Hi there, I'm Captain Kyle, and there's been a little bit of a delay since my last 5 favorite Transformers video, but we are back! And I'll explain the delay in just a few minutes. But we are now on to the Beast Wars Predacons. Now I'm going to show you my 5 favorites, which, even if you looked at the thumbnail, you may not be quite right in your expectations. Haha! But we're going to go through them bit by bit, show them to you, and please let me know in the comments what your 5 favorite Beast Wars Predacons are. Alright, time to dive in. Well, be right back. Alright, so the first Predacon, and again, these might not be your choices, but they are mine, is Insecticon. Yes, Insecticon is my first Predacon that I'm going to showcase here. There he is, nice and centered. Now, before I get into him, I just want to explain why there's been a delay, because one of my Predacons was hiding. Yes, I couldn't find him, and I didn't want to be like, well, I'll just choose a different Predacon, because that would be disingenuous. That would not be fair to say, this is one of my favorite Predacons when he's actually like hidden somewhere. So I'll tell you which one was hiding in my garage, but I found him when I was looking for something else, and I'm like, yes, now I can do the video. And now we're gonna actually do Insecticon. But we're gonna go through him. Now, he's an interesting bot, and this one I actually had to reacquire. Yes, he was one of my favorites, but he did end up going in the purge, so I had to reacquire him. But he's very cool. He's got this neat crossbow type weapon. So, you know, him and Daryl Dixon can take out walkers. I was about to call them biters because I usually play the part of the governor, and that's what he calls them. But he's got the crossbow. Now, he is actually kind of a flip changer, so pretty easy to transform. I will say that there are a lot of Beast Wars toys that were Transmetal 2 that are pretty cool, Transmetal that were pretty cool. However, a lot of them I found not as cool as the original run. And again, I like some of the weirder ones, but that's just me. All right, I took his weapon. Well, I'm going to show you the weapon storage, but let's first go through some posability. Now, in the Beast Wars era, they did not have any type of ankle swivel or anything like that, but he could do a full Jean-Claude Van Damme, except, you know, his big bug ass. Well, luckily he's got these bug arms that keep him upright, but the bug ass keeps him from going all the way crotch down. Even if you open it up, it doesn't really help. So with that kind of posability, he can definitely kick up. Kicking back, he is blocked by his bug ass. But he can go sideways, and you can really get it up there if you use both legs. It's a nice ball joint design. So what's nice about the Beast Wars stuff, things would sometimes pop off, but you could put it back on relatively easily and with no real loss of function. He does not twist at the waist or anything like that. His arms do go all the way around. Oh, he bends at the knee, by the way. He does have a knee. A little spike here, cause you groin damage. But arms go all the way around. He bends at the elbow. It swivels around. He's got these legs on his arms for his insect mode that kind of get in the way of stuff, but still overall he's pretty cool. The head, of course, goes all the way around. It's on a nice ball joint, and he's pretty posable. You know, he's basically a basic. He was a Beast Wars basic and came with a nice 2-piece weapon that you assemble into this crossbow, and he's a pretty cool looking dude, I think. And the transformation's pretty damn easy. So I'm gonna take the crossbow apart and fold it so I can store it. Now, if you open up his ass, and you can do this in bug mode or in robot mode, you can take these and plug them into here so they are nice and hidden away. So great weapon storage on this guy. And the transformation is pretty easy. You basically take him by the hips, push it forward. You want to make sure that his head is aligned properly so it goes into the slot for it. And he's basically a flip changer, but it's a very easy transformation. You can see his legs, or his fists, you can kind of put them underneath the edge there, but he's a bug. And you can even pretend that these are kind of wings, so he can be flying around if you want. But yeah, Insecticon, a basic bot. You're such a basic bot, but he's still cool. Now my second one I want to show you is kind of funny. Spittor! Yes, you know, it's much more polite to swallow than spit. Never mind. But he turns into a poison dart frog. Now this mold was used again a couple times. One was for the red version, which was a European exclusive, which I used to have and it went in the purge. And also for the Beast Wars 2 diver. So he was green, much more like a normal frog. But he's got kind of short legs, very long arms, but he's got a really funny gimmick. I don't want you to miss this. Watch closely. His head pops up. He's like Mechaneck. from He-Man and the Masters of the Universe. So I don't know what the purpose of that. It's like a headbutt attack, but it's kind of funny. I like it, and that's why he's one of my favorites. Now, posability wise, again, no ankle swivels, but he can actually do a full Jean-Claude Van Damme without a problem. Kick forward. Whoa, his head went up again. I didn't mean to get you excited by touching your butt. Can't really kick backwards because the tail of the frog gets in the way. And the side kick, I mean, you kind of have to kind of twist it around. It's just a regular side kick, kind of isn't that good, but you can still kind of like swivel it out and do like a side crescent kick type thing. I know I make a lot of references to non-mainstream kicks, like people know front kick and side kick, might even know roundhouse, but some of those kicks, I did take martial arts years ago, so don't mess with me if you see me at a con. No, I'll probably kick my ass. But he does not really twist at the waist. It looks like it should. There's a line there, but it doesn't do that. He bends at the knee on his short little stubby legs, so he can do martial arts. Daniel-san, do crane kick. Hey, how do you like that? Were you cheating with your hand? Nope, there we go. Doing crane kick. Wax on, wax off. His arms can, can go forward and back. Can't really go all the way around, but he can definitely like pat himself on the back practically, at least on the shoulder. And elbows, his hands are basically big suction cupped fingertips on him. They're like huge. If he smacks the shit out of you, well, you deserve it. The head itself does not turn. That's probably because it's part of this whole mecha-neck thing. He does have these other legs on his back that are basically for his frog mode. He is not a flip changer, but the transformation is not too difficult. Well, let's show him here, and I didn't measure Insecticon, but I'll measure this guy. He's about 4 inches tall, so about the size of a G1 car. Some of them, like Prowl and Smokescreen. All right, so you can see him from all his angles, and time to transform. Like I said, he is not a flip changer. Transformation is not too difficult, however, and it is pretty clean looking. There he is in frog mode. Get a little closer on him. And what's interesting though is when he's in frog mode, you can make his head go out. So kind of like a tongue. So you can do that attack. His mouth opens and closes. His front legs are somewhat posable. His back legs are also pretty posable. As you can see, they're big, long-ass frog legs. I do not suggest trying to dine on them, even if you do like to eat frog legs. Some people do. I mean, if you look at the bottom, you can kind of see his regular robot legs are like hidden underneath. Not super well, but they're there. He's a pretty cool looking frog, and if you look at him from the top, he looks like a poison dart frog. Very colorful, evil green eyes, and he's only slightly over 3 inches long. All right, hop along, dude. All right, the next one you may think you know from the thumbnail, but you may be wrong. It is Laserbeak. Yes, he is a repaint of Pterosaur, or Pterosaur is a repaint of him. Same mold. And this mold has also been used for Beast Wars Dinobot and a BotCon exclusive named Fractal. But he's very cool. Changes into a Pteranodon, I believe is the proper term, or a Pterosaur. Pterosaur? I think it's a Pteranodon, but he's basically a pretty posable character. He's got wings. Drinks a lot of Red Bull. Probably get them to sponsor me at some point. And he is a flip changer, which I do love my flip changers, but he's pretty cool. Now, no ankle swivels, but he can do a full Jean-Claude Van Damme. But of course, the tail area, or it's actually the neck. It's actually like the neck of the Pteranodon. Doesn't allow him to go crouch down, but still he's got that flexibility. And he can kick forward pretty dang high. Back, he is hampered by his wings, but he can do a nice side kick. He can bend at the knee. He's got like a lot of Predacons. Little sharp point right there, so he can dig in, actually remove some testicles when he needs you in the crotch. Now the arms could go all the way around if it wasn't for the wings. They're not nice ball joints. Bends at the elbow, swivels. Oh, the legs. I didn't point this out with the other guys, but they're on ball joints too. They can swivel. But yeah, so that can swivel. He's got this nice little gun I'm gonna take out of his hands, but it's good. The head can turn. You can even get it to go all the way around. You gotta wiggle it a little bit, just a little bit. But there he is. You probably thought it was Pterosaur that was one of my favorites. And I do like the mold. He's definitely up there, because I do like this mold. I just think that the Laserbeak's colors are cooler to look at and makes him a little more distinctive than just, I'm red. Yes, and I will take over the Predacons. That was my Pterosaur impression. Please rate it in the comments. Now he's a flip changer, so it's really easy to get him into his Pteranodon mode, you actually fold the gun and stick it behind his head here. It's been a while since I've done that. So that's weapon storage. And then you just fold. His arms have the claws here, so you just fold and you actually have these two little slots to put the points on his elbows in. You just straighten out his toes as well. And there he is. As again, I think it's a Pteranodon. You dinosaurs experts can tell me if it's a Pteranodon or whatever it's supposed to be. It's a flying dinosaur. He's got molded claws here. I do like the detailing on him. Again, a bit better than Pterosaur. And yeah, he fly. So a very cool version of this mold. Again, I used it for several other characters, and the only one I don't have is Fractal because he went with the Great Purge, but Laserbeak. Another one which you may not have expected, Razorclaw. Now Razorclaw obviously is not the lion that he was in G1. It's obviously supposed to be a whole different character. Might be a little bit buddy-buddy with Rampage, but he's a crab, and there were actually two colorations of this. There was well, there might have been more, but in the US there was the one that was orange, and this is the one that came with the videotape. Came with a VHS tape. Now a VHS tape, look it up. But he and Air Razor both came with videotapes with new colorations. Air Razor was a little bit darker in coloration, and he was just, they went wild. But I do like this coloration better. I may still have the other one somewhere, unless it went with the Purge. I'm still figuring out some of the stuff that may or may not have gone with the Purge. But he's not a flip changer, but he's pretty simple in transformation. But let's first go over his posability, because again, he can do a full Jean-Claude Van Damme, but this tail thing just gets in the way. So he ends up flopping a little forward. He can kick forward, and by the way, his feet can kind of become little claws as well. So don't peek. He can kick back mostly. He can kick to the side very nicely. He does have a bend at the knee, and it's a nice pointy thing that can cause damage. He can kind of swivel. It's kind of a weird joint here, but that's because of his alternate form. The arms cannot go all the way around because of the wings, but otherwise they could. He's got claws and not hands, and when you open up his big claw, he's got these spikes that fold out, and he can cause some major damage and puncture the shit out of somebody. There's actually a little lever here on the claw that can extrude or retract those claws. Who do you think you are, Wolverine? His other claw, you open it up and it's got a blaster. So it's like, ha! You thought I was just gonna snip your nose? I got your nose! No, I'm gonna shoot you with a friggin' blaster. The head can turn all the way around, and you can kind of adjust these extra legs for his crab mode. You can adjust them to whatever makes him look best to you in his robot mode. So there he is in all his robotic glory, but it is time for his crab mode, which I will say the eyes do not like extrude out. That'd be kind of fun. Hi Sky, are you in the mood for some crab? Do you like to eat some crab? So there is Razorclaw in his crab mode. Now some interesting things, the head pushes down a little bit and kind of becomes like a jaw. The front claws are of course maneuverable. He can still have access to his weapons in that mode. His legs become these back legs with claws on them, little pincers, and his tail swings up between his leg and plugs into his crotch and kind of helps maintain the legs. You're very interested in seafood, aren't you? I mean, once you put him in this mode, you just flop him forward, which, you know, let's face it, a lot of beast transformers just kind of flop forward once they transform. But very intricate shell on the back. He's got these two little, like, rudder things. He's cool. I like him. That's why he's one of my favorites. All right, are you ready for the final one, Sky? I don't know if you're gonna like this one. So my final one, I did say I prefer not Transmetal 2, but there are exceptions to every rule. And this one is Tarantulas, but not the normal coloration. This is the Fox Kids repaint, who looks so cool in silver, black, and green. I think he's just so much better looking than the standard coloration of Tarantulas Transmetal. Not that it's not a cool looking toy, but this one is just so much better. In fact, this guy was featured in a BotCon comic as the resurrected version of Tarantulas. He came back and met up with Tripedacus agent, aka Ravage, who somehow survived his little brush with major explosions. But he's very cool looking. He did actually go in the Purge, and I had to recollect him, which was not as cheap as I had hoped. Now, the one problem with this mold is his head, if it folds back, can be a pain in the ass to put back into place. But he's still a very cool character. See, I knew you weren't gonna like him. Just knock him over, why don't you? Sheesh. So I'm gonna spin him around. Yes, his weapon has been dropped. And we'll go through some posability. All right, again, no ankle swivels, but if it weren't for the spider tail, full Jean-Claude Van Damme, crotch down, would not be a problem. He can kick forward, not too high, but decently high. Going back, he gets blocked by his, well, shell of his spider. Do a nice side kick, bend at the knee. Not fully, but he does have some spikes on the edge there. And of course, can swivel because of the ball joint in his knee. So that's pretty nice. Twisting at the waist is not possible. Not without, major reconstruction and destroying him. His arms, he's got these weird shoulder pads, so his arms can't really go all the way around. They can kind of go back, but then it pushes forward his claws. So the arms are nothing super great. I mean, you can put him out to the side. He does have elbow. He's got these weird looking claws. The head, of course, can turn all the way around. But yeah, the arms are a little bit inhibited by the wheel type stuff and the legs on the back. Still, he is one of the coolest looking versions of the Transmetals that I've ever seen. I am Tarantulas. Welcome to my web. Yeah, I don't do a good Tarantulas either. Alex Willows is I think that's his name, is really, really talented when it comes to this character. Now he transforms, of course, into a spider, which I'm going to show you, and then I'm going to show you his third form as a Transmetal Transformer. So there he is in his spider mode, very creepy. Again, love the coloration. The black and silver just really, really pops with this guy. And again, so much better than his original Transmetal colors. Now, you can obviously move all the legs however you want. They are on ball joints. You can even have him, fully standing on them pretty much. Now, weapon storage, I believe this is how you do it. I could be wrong, but you plug it into his center legs there and then turn it and push it back. Again, I could be wrong. It might be slightly different, but that's the weapon storage as far as I'm aware. And he does say Tarantulas on the side, which was a Fox Kids repaint thing. That I could do without, but I'm not gonna bother to try to match the paint and paint over it. It's a minor quibble. And those green eyes, ha 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 ha. You will die, Maximals, you will die. Any closer? I don't know. But he does have like a vehicle mode, so you put the legs up and you take his weapon, which is plugged in, again, between his legs. You can turn it, so it becomes a wheel there, and then you can take his back wheel and kind of push it out and turn it. Might have to pop it apart first to make it easier to turn, but it basically becomes a spider motorcycle with the small wheel in the front, big wheel in the back. I mean, because it's only two wheels, but it actually rolls pretty good, though it ends up skidding out because of the legs. But still, a gorgeous version of Tarantulas. I really like this reincarnated Fox Kids repaint. And I will kill you all! And he's got like 8 kickstands, though one just came off. We're just gonna pop that back on. Ball joints. The joys of ball joints. So there you have them, my 5 favorites. Beast Wars Predacons. Kind of give that a spin and see how that looks. Like a mess. It's all right. Put your claw up, you'd be better. There you go. So my favorite Beast Wars Predacons. I don't know why I'm talking like this now. Don't ask. Which ones are your favorites? Please let me know in the comments. I know there's some great ones. Rampage is cool, though a bit complex sometimes to transform, and with the treads that actually kind of work. Transmetal 2 Megatron is a very cool dragon and definitely high on my list, but there's something about these guys that I just really, really like. And he did have a later one in the Transmetal 2 arena. But yeah, let me know which ones you like. I will put links to all these guys in the description. This guy's a little pricey, even though he's a Fox Kids repaint, but he was probably the best of the Fox Kids repaints. And while you're mulling these guys over, you can actually take a look at this video over here, which is my 5 favorite Maximals. And again, I hope you're enjoying these favorite videos. And if you enjoy my content, please feel free to subscribe. We'll see you next time. As always, have fun and good hunting.